That's just to sync up the sound of the audio and the video. What is going on, guys? My name is Regan Thompson from Syndicate Store, and I'm here with Dylan Connell, Cypher Scooters, Opal Wheels, Syndicate Store. One of me best mates, good bloke. So I posted on Instagram saying, whatever you comment on this post will be discussed on the pod. That offer still stands, by the way. I'm using that post as like the governing body of what gets discussed on this podcast. So go and find it and drop your ideas or topic of discussion on it.
At Regan Thompson 23.
Thanks, bro. Thanks for the shout out. And one of those comments on that, Dylan, to my right, is going to read out right now.
So there's two of them that are very similar, so we're just going to sync them up because they're pretty much the same question or questions of, you know,
still
in
got,
each
still
other.
Got to shout out the commenter, though.
So Ethan Dower.
My man.
Yeah, the homie. He said,
man.
Would the Olympics be a positive or negative to scooters? And if we scroll down...
I wonder why he's asking that too, because I know he's about to go overseas on a gnarly trip involving like some gnarly competitions and stuff. He told me he's not competing, he's just going. So
for the experience.
Yeah, I guess that's on his mind, or he just thought it.
Yeah, I saw his post on his story of the big chunk of cash he just spent on his plane tickets, and I was jealous.
Oh. What was the big chunk of cash? Did it say
like
how much?
Almost $5,000 on the tickets. I was so jealous. I envy you doing that.
Shout out to Ethan, and if you want to see his work, check out Scooter Village. They kill it, and they're absolutely killing it, and a lot of that is him. So definitely I'm talking about the right Ethan, aren't I?
Yeah. Yeah. All right, so the other question from William Dunkley.
Mm-hmm.
Opinion on scootering becoming more mainstream, Olympics, World Skate, national federations, etc. Also, can it be both a sport and a culture, or is it just one of the two? Much love.
Definitely can be much love.
Much love to you as well for the comment. So we'll start off with Williams. I think scootering becoming more mainstream, I'm all for it. It's just going to make the riders more money. It's going to potentially introduce outside sponsors like shoe brands, energy drink brands, you know, which would be awesome.
Energy drinks. Love energy drinks.
Which would be awesome if...
Not really.
Awesome if that happened, because then more riders can make a living. You know, a little off topic, but when I was doing a lesson with Levi, we were with this older skater that knew some of the homies that were sponsored by like Monster.
Yep.
They would get cans of drink with just water in them. Like they have custom, just special cans of drink with water, and they just take them around and drink them.
Shh! Don't
pretty,
put the homies on.
Pretty interesting, but anyway,
that makes sense. I was literally saying to someone the other day, I follow a lot of people who are sponsored by Red Bull and stuff like that, and enjoy their skateboarding, BMXing, stuff like that. But I would never touch a can of Red Bull. Except half an hour ago I had a
neither would
Red Bull.
Neither would some of the dudes that are on the teams though.
Yeah. But the funny kind of realization I had is like, I don't like Red Bull. I don't mess with it. I don't think it's just like good for society and for all the kids and teenagers and even adults that drink it. But there's certain times like today where I was like, we're doing what we're doing. I need to make sure like I'm ready to go. I had a Red Bull, and I wouldn't have Red Bulls every day when I need to be ready to go. I just live my life without Red Bull. I do have caffeine, coffees at other times, but we like to think that Red Bull's advertising like doesn't work on us and stuff like that. But then I kind of realized like, you know, when it comes down to it and I need that kick to make sure I'm wide-eyed for the potty or to go do some shit I need to do, sometimes, occasionally, I'll go to the Red Bull, and that's maybe I choose Red Bull over Monster and V and all that stuff because of their involvement with professional skateboarders and BMXers. So, you know, in a way, I despise Red Bull, but I'm also like, fucking Mad Dogs for like sponsoring 6 skaters. And occasionally I'll have a Red Bull instead of a Monster or Mother or whatever.
All right, well, little off topic there.
Bit off topic.
But I just thought that was a funny thing. Sort of ties into the...
It does tie into outside sponsors.
Yeah.
Mainstream, Scootering getting bigger, bringing in mainstream sponsors. And to want mainstream sponsors and attract mainstream sponsors and bring in mainstream sponsors, we have to look at how that plays out. And I guess that's kind of what I was just going on about then. It's like, it's, we could, the same way some of these skaters have convinced me to drink Red Bull, scooter riders could convince other people to drink Red Bull without feeling bad about it. Like, the reason I don't like, Red Bull is the idea of heaps of people getting freaking like hooked on it and stuff like that. But
the health issues that it can
so I'm
develop.
still harping on about Red Bull, but I just think that's such a huge when you talk about mainstream and outside sponsors and Olympics and stuff like that, it's like kind of the beast that you have to like work with, unless we can get scootering big without needing to go to the Olympics or without needing to go to these corporations and stuff like that, which has always been a big proponent of like what I'm trying to do with my own businesses and my own life is be more in control of that for us, like for riders and stuff. But I've definitely seen, I think I could see a lot of benefits from mainstream.
Yeah. If it can help riders make a living, then I'm all for it. Because right now,
if we could do it without it and do it ourselves, so like instead of some big outside corporate sponsors and stuff, if those sponsors could be within scootering, that would be cool.
But it's like a big, just like, scootering won't be able to pay riders a livable wage themselves if it wasn't mainstream. The mainstream media and scootering becoming more mainstream will help, more kids get into it, get inspired, buy scooter parts, hopefully from good rider-owned brands. And then that will obviously generate them more income, then they can pay the riders more.
But skateboarding is funded from non-skateboarding.
Yeah.
All the shoe brands, the clothing brands, obviously the skate brands and parts are bought by skaters wanting to participate in skateboarding, so decks, wheels, bearings, trucks and stuff like that. But when you're talking shoes, jeans, hats and all that, which is, it seems to be the huge, the fashion side of skateboarding is where there's so much more money in it. All that money is in it because people are looking at skateboarding and not being skateboarders and buying skateboarding stuff, and then the skateboarders get paid from that. No one is out there buying a scooter branded item of clothing who doesn't scooter. So it's like, at the moment, scootering will only ever be as big as there as many scooter riders there are. Whereas things like skateboarding, even snowboarding and stuff like that, especially with their like jackets and stuff, they have big pathways out to larger audiences than just themselves. So when you ask, could scootering be more mainstream? Should it be more mainstream? Could it be more mainstream? You have to think, could you ever see someone being exposed to scootering and thinking it's so dope that they want to go and buy a pair of scooter branded shoes, jeans, shirt, a hat, but not actually ride a scooter? Because that's where I think a lot of the money comes from in industries like skateboarding. Do you think that's a good point?
Yeah, that is very true.
What do you think of that? Do you think any scootering will get like that?
I sort of agree. Well, like I do agree. And it's sort of overlaps another topic I was going to talk about on this question.
Oh shit! Did I jump topics?
No.
Okay.
Like your topic is sort of.
I was going to say, am I replying to the question? Scootering becoming more mainstream?
Yeah,
in the
you
Olympics?
are.
Yeah, okay, man.
I think a lot of people, it depends who goes to the Olympics as well. I would want people in the Olympics that make their riding look good, like no one's like,
Well,
you
in
see all the,
skateboarding, did anyone get to the Olympics that didn't make skateboarding look good?
no, because everyone sort of, yeah.
Sorry.
So I was talking about, I would want people in the Olympics that make scootering look good.
Yeah.
Whether that be style, trick selection, and how they dress is an important one, which it sucks that it has to be.
Are you allowed to choose how you dress in the Olympics? Did the skaters?
Yeah, I think they did. They're still
Okay.
wearing, like their baggy clothes or whatnot. And there's not many all street riders are pretty much dressing like that these days, it's just like, and it's not even like, you don't even have to wear expensive clothes, just like clothes that look good, that complement your riding,
Yeah.
I think it's like sort of important because it sort of represents scootering. And if people want to, indulge in scooter culture and their clothing and stuff.
And then they go on the Olympics and they're exposed to someone wearing.
Like Air Forces and skinny jeans.
Okay. So that's a very personal opinion. Something you think doesn't look good. Yeah. Fair enough.
It is a personal opinion, but I think it's sort
Air
of
Forces and skinny jeans would be pretty big shoes, skinny pants.
Yeah, and funny. I think as well, like I think if they went to the Olympics for street riding, cool, dope, it would be awesome. But I think a lot of the park scootering, they're going to see these adults on really, really small scooters. Yeah, they're doing insane tricks, but they might not be.
I've got a hot take. I think this is the right use of hot take. I'm not up to it with all the trendy lingos and sayings and stuff, but my hot take, I reckon park riding in the Olympics might be more gnarly and interesting than street riding in the Olympics. And the reason I say that is because I don't know if street riders have the competitive consistency to put on a show in the way that the park riders do.
Yeah.
And if you were the mainstream world audience and you looked over at a street competition of scootering going down and a park competition of scootering going down at an Olympic level, the mainstream audience is probably going to look at the park stuff because they're going up in the air, upside down, flicking, like stuff like that. To a mainstream audience, that's going to be impressive. Whereas if you took all the best stuff that happens at street jams, Sovereign of Street, Coalition, stuff like that, and you got some of those tricks and put them on a more clinical looking street league style Olympic course and did those tricks, I don't know that the crowd would understand if someone's like long back 5-0 through a down flat and then they whip back lip the last down, like, some gnarly level shit. I don't know if a mainstream crowd is going to understand that in the way that they would understand a front nothing body variable, level stuff.
Well, I think it's the same with skateboarding,
True.
like.
Well, they had both, didn't they? They had park.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's the same with skateboarding. Like, a lot of people probably couldn't really resonate with, street skateboarding. Same with skateboarding in the park. Like, a lot of people probably wouldn't understand what is hard or what's not. But I've heard the judges say a lot of, phrases and whatnot that would help the crowd to understand. Like, if they're doing a switch trick, the judge might be like, oh, he's standing the other way, that's so difficult, they really go into detail about tricks and why they're hard. So I think that would probably help the street scootering become more interesting. But to their eyeballs watching a backflip nothing front scooter, it probably would look cooler to them,
But they wouldn't be able to judge maybe the difficulty between two similar tricks like that. Like to a mainstream audience, they're just like, oh, he went big and upside down, and oh, he went big and the scooter flicked around. Like,
yeah. And I think as well, like people that go to the Olympics are representing our sport, you know, our whatever you want to call it,
and their countries and their individual countries.
Yeah, so if they're representing scootering, I personally want scootering to look good and cool. You know, I don't want scootering to
come off looking
lame.
A way that you think is lame. Yeah.
Like I've always.
See, I say a way that you think is lame.
Yeah.
To be fair to personal preferences and stuff, but yeah.
Yeah, like it sucks that this opinion is like so. You know, a lot of people have it like the way you dress matters because I think it shouldn't matter, but I think your clothing, what you wear, complements your riding.
Like, dude, I look at even recent clips of myself where I'm wearing like shorts and half cabs, and I'm like, God damn, like that clip was sick. You should have been in long pants.
Yeah.
Like when I watch clips of myself and I'm not in long pants, I'm like, dude, what are we doing? And even hats, when I see, I've got a lot of clips in hats, and I'm like, why are you wearing a hat? When I shave my head, I've got such a beautiful shaped skull. I should just, you know, keep my head shaved and film clips like that. But
and I think what makes me, you know, like think about clothing and why it should matter in the park scene as well, is if you watch Angus Hughes, like do any park trick, he's always wearing like some, you know, really decent clothing, and it makes his riding look so much better.
Okay,
you know, he wears,
so
you know, like slimmer shoes, baggier pants.
Okay,
you know,
yeah. Does he wear longer pants?
Yeah, long pants, long baggy pants. Yeah, you know, and it's sick to watch because he's dressing like a street rider would dress. You know, dressing decent.
Yeah,
and it's not even like. Doesn't even relate to scootering. Like when I just go out of the house, I want to look nice. I want to have, you know, some nice clothes on, nice shoes, whatever.
Fresh right now, bro.
Thanks.
Neon green, neon orange, and then the contrast of the dark blue vest. Pulling off a vest. It's called a vest, isn't it? Yeah.
It is.
Vest. Pulling off a vest. That's some steez, dude.
But yeah, it's like, it's not only just scootering. It's just like you want to look good when you...
Yeah.
You just want to be presentable, and I think
I go through phases of trying to, and then being like, I can't be fucked.
And I look at things like, you know, in skate shops, the clothing from skate shops, it's almost like a uniform for me, in a way. It's like in
a good way or bad way?
Like a good way. Okay. Like I want to wear it because it's like skateboarding, streetwear apparel.
This is what we wear. This is like how we signify that we're about this life. Like
I wear skate shoes because they're for like what we do.
Well, that's
like
purely function.
Yeah.
Skate. I mean, also they look nice, but like shoes is a real, like you might find a vest at Fast Times that you could wear. You might find a vest at Kmart that you could wear and both would look steezy.
Yeah.
But you cannot get riding shoes from Kmart. You have to get them from Fast Times or a skate shop.
Yeah. But yeah, I just wear, you know, streetwear apparel because it's just like what looks good, I think. It's just, it is all personal preference. But I would just hate for scootering to go to the Olympics to be laughed at, essentially. You know, like why aren't these guys looking as cool as the skateboarders?
Yeah, for sure. But also that's like some, you know, scootering is so young, and if it is something, if it would get laughed at being, you know, in the Olympics or something, then so be it, because however it naturally occurs is a representation of what we truly are.
Yeah.
So you can't, you know,
there is a massive dividing line between park and street riding.
Yeah.
And I feel like as like a street orientated rider, I don't really have the right to comment on what they do. Like they can do what they want. I don't care. But if scootering goes to the Olympics and it's a street competition and a park competition, I know the street riders will be representing what I do, and more so than the park riders.
Oh, yeah. And you think they'll do a good job of it?
I think so, depending on who goes.
Well, you can, going off, you know, some of the videos floating around and some of the street jams that have been, you could kind of pick the the top 10 in that Olympics. That would be
But whether they would want to go.
Yeah. That is, honestly, I can't imagine out of the top 10 I've got in my head, I can't imagine any of them saying no to the Olympics. But
Let's say, what about Reese? If Reese got invited, or like
Jonesy?
Yeah, you reckon he'd do it?
Yeah, I reckon he would. I reckon there may have been a time, can't speak for him too much, but I reckon there might have been a time in his life where he would have possibly been like, I don't know about that. But I reckon right now, if he would be like, of course, what an experience, but yeah, so yes, I'm trying to think would he have been in my top 10 though?
Yeah.
Obviously, I think he's one of the best riders in the world, hands down, but maybe not in a competitive sense. Although, as I say this, I'm thinking, man, his consistency is insane. So, in a competitive sense, he probably could destroy half of that top 10. So, but yeah.
Well, back to just like the main part of the question. Would it
be good?
Would it be good? Yeah, I think it would be good.
That's the question? Is it? It was kind of what do you think about? Would scootering be good if it was?
Well, Ethan's was, would it be positive or negative?
Yeah.
And Williams was,
what do you think of?
Yeah, what do you think of it becoming more mainstream?
Yeah.
So I think scootering in the Olympics, good. It becoming more mainstream, good. Just to dumb it down, I think they're both positive things for scootering.
And massive apologies for my 5-minute Red Bull rant at the start.
I think that sums it up.
Happy with that for now?
Yeah, I think that sums it up.